Some cameras simply don't encourage you to go out and take photos. At the ending of this clip, I will explain why I'm saying this. Let me give you some context first, the story. I started my journey as a photographer in my high school years. With an Olympus camera, I took my first photos. This was my companion, the tool that made me fall in love with this craft. And here I am now, after 9 years of Canon, back to Olympus, this time a mirrorless one. Let me take you on a photo walk, a short exploration in the park to test this camera. My first ever photo walk with this Olympus. Let's begin. First thing that I have to say is that this is the best looking camera that I ever had. It has a vintage look. It copies the original OM1 model released by Olympus in 1972. Initially, I didn't bring it in the park to take photos. I just wanted to use it for filming this lens for my other YouTube channel. But in one particular morning, I had it with me in a special moment, when a thick fog covered the city. The photos impressed me, so I gave this camera a chance. And here I am, in the park, not in the mood for photos, but a bit curious. I am located on one of the park's small islands, and this transformer, oddly placed next to the water and the 3 trees, caught my attention. This was all I needed. To press that shutter button, and the nicely calibrated colors dazzled me. They were precisely mirroring reality. Going forward, I found this tree that should be a tourist spot. It has many branches and mainly it stretches horizontally. 2 girls were taking some photos there, so I took more photos. From this angle, you don't quite get how special this tree is, so I changed my position. I never saw something like this before. The ducks, I noticed, seem to get a feeling of safety underneath it. You can always find ducks there. I have to mention that I'm taking these shots with no effort, because the camera has a tilting screen. A couple of meters away, some seagulls were resting. The kit lens doesn't have a generous zoom, but it's decent. Also, I can hold the frame steady with ease because the camera has 5-axis image stabilization, a feature introduced and improved by Olympus for a while now. The seagulls took off as soon as I approached them, but this allowed me to make a good mistake, how I like to call it. The motion blur makes the photo more interesting. If the action would have been completely frozen, the photo would have been more dull. Here we have a couple on a bench. I like the water that's in front of them, I like the bridge, and the Olympus colors, again nicely calibrated. This is a moment that looks better on a wide angle. Now, speaking about bridges, it's time to leave this small island. But before this, I want to take a fisherman type photo from this low angle. I just have to sit and wait for someone to walk in my frame. And here it is. This photo is even more interesting in black and white. There are some locks on the bridge, a symbol of love and fidelity. Things I start to feel for this camera that, again, impresses me with its colors. And the kit lens shows some nice bokeh. Before I go down the stairs from up here, I notice another interesting moment. It doesn't come as a surprise that I'm planning to purchase a 17mm prime lens for this camera. I am starting to like these wide angles. I really can't explain why I like it so much, but this camera seems to bring a story to every photo. If I were to describe it in one image, I would tell you that the Olympus from my hands is like that statue over there. Nicely built with well-defined eyes. Maybe I exaggerated a bit with this title, saying that some cameras are anti-photography. What I actually meant was some cameras were not designed for photographers. For example, I once had a Canon M50. Although it has nice image quality, I never felt comfortable while using it. Why? Because this camera was made for vloggers, for filming. With the M50, you don't have good control. If you're a photographer, it slows you down. But this Olympus is something else. Color science was not the only thing that impressed me. I enjoyed the whole experience. It is the smallest mirrorless camera with a viewfinder that I used, so I can always take it with me. It has a dedicated dial for changing the shutter speed and aperture setting, a tilting screen. I just had to give it a chance and it convinced me. Now, this is a camera that was designed for photographers. And thanks to it, I will go out more often. I am sure that you also own a camera that you enjoy. I am curious, what's the name of that camera? Write in the comment section. If you like this video, consider subscribing and see you on the next one.